Okay, so here I am with Veronica Palin from Cold Calling Company. Veronica, thank you for joining me today. I sure appreciate it very much. How are you doing today?
You're very welcome. And it's a cold day too in Calgary. 10 degrees
it's a
in
cold,
June.
rainy day, but no forest fires, which is fantastic. So thank God for small miracles,
and
right?
My garden's growing as well.
Exactly, yeah. My grass is way longer than it should be. So I want to talk to you about your business. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. My name's Veronica Palin. My business is Cold Calling Company, and we do lead generating, business to business, telemarketing, introducing companies, and getting them a meeting.
Right.
That's what we do.
Perfect. I've seen so many articles that cold calling is dead, but your opinion is that it definitely still works. Tell us more about that, please.
I appreciate that. I think in some industries it works. So a lot of what I do is to test whether or not in their industry people are reachable, people are receptive to that form. And in industries where it does work is very, high ticket priced items.
Like what?
Any kind of technology. So, one of my clients does a conveyor belt that is a spiral, so it slows down the cooling process. So he only has to sell a couple for that to work.
Perfect.
Got another client, Siemens, who sells technology. So we're calling hospitals, or they only have to sell so many diagnostic imaging equipment or CT scans for a lead to be worthwhile. So
for sure,
that's the area of expertise that we do. And people are reachable, or they are interested in looking at other vendors for that. So again, our role isn't so much as sales, but to introduce the company to their prospects, and also to qualify whether their prospects are open-minded, interested, and qualified both as a need and financially.
For sure. What have you seen over the last, let's say, 5-10 years as far as online marketing, digital marketing, and people using the phone? Obviously, no one uses really Yellow Pages anymore. What's your take on that?
So, from an operations standpoint, I've been doing this 25 years. In some industries, we're finding some people less easy to reach.
Right.
Now, in any business where they have to pick up the phone for the general public to receive, that is still valid. What I've noticed among that population is that they're getting so few inbound solicitation calls or inquiries that they're more available to pick them up. They're more receptive to a voicemail return. So it somewhat reminds me of sending faxes or a postcard, a mail. So fewer coming through, that the few that do, they have a receptive audience.
That's very interesting. I never thought about it in that way, and then, combining what you do with other forms of marketing, what do you find works the best? So people doing cold calling, are a lot of companies doing social media marketing nowadays on top of things to augment, or?
It's a good question. So I find a lot of clients, well, just in general, most people don't like telemarketing or cold calling or calling their clients.
Right.
They have a lot of issues around it. So what we take off of them is, if they outsource it to us, it's done, and then they can go back to doing what they do best. So I find a lot of people, I don't want to say, hide behind their computer, but they're using email, possibly even text. So the challenge with that is that it's not a live feedback loop. So they'll do a lot of outbound email to perhaps, 5,000 records.
Right.
They might get 50 to 80 people responding, but what happens to the other, thousands? So what our team can do is qualify, are they in, are they out? We're currently doing a couple of campaigns right now of people who did online inquiries to the company.
Right.
And it was for SEO marketing. So they received these inquiries, and, we have 1,000 companies to call and say, are you still interested? Did you find a solution? Are you looking for an alternate? So that company for a year didn't touch them.
Right.
Possibly some email response, but not a lot. So out of that campaign, in approximately, how many hours have we done? 30 hours, we've gotten them 10 meetings.
Wow.
That didn't happen on their own. They happened from a conversation. So sometimes it's almost like being invited to a party. they may have shown interest in something, but to actually have a person say, "Hi, I care.
Yeah.
Are you still interested? Would you like another conversation?" Even if you have the existing solution, maybe there's an add-on, not a have to switch over, but maybe there's a strategy that can help.
Right.
The existing. So people like leading conversations and
Yeah.
and what they're already doing and not feeling sold to.
Yeah, and people, generally speaking, like you said, I mean, myself personally, I hate cold calling. I would much rather outsource it to someone like yourself, because I'm a LinkedIn guy, obviously, and for me,
Very good. Thank you very much, by the way.
yeah. I mean, we've had you on the LinkedIn campaign now only for a few months, and that was an avenue that you really weren't maximizing or exploring to the level that you could have been beforehand. What's happened as far as the LinkedIn stuff goes for you?
I agree. I was just going to mention, thank you so much for that. I know you've been very patient with me, because it was 3 years ago that we started promoting your business, and I wanted to keep, start, but only, it was only up until a month or two ago, primarily because I want to start something with the end in mind. And I know that the amount of leads and conversations you'll generate for me, I need to be available to have those conversations and calls.
Right.
So I know I think it was 2 months ago we started, and about 2 weeks ago I asked you to please put on the brakes. I've been going on, 5 to 7 coffee meetings per week for at least 2 weeks. Closing.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. I can't even count how many leads you've given. I've received from your campaign.
Dozens. Yeah.
I would say phone conversations maybe 40 to 50.
Wow.
Email and text conversations about 100.
Right.
So I'm the owner. I'm the salesperson. I don't do the operations of our marketing, but the part for me to convert these to closing is a lot of time up front. So I'm very grateful, and I certainly don't mind that I waited, but I would recommend to anyone else, if you're going to start the program, stick with it for the 6 months and have everything else off your plate, so that you can just focus on these leads.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I think we talked about starting up again with my company for your services as well, which we want to do. I want to talk about that after the interview, because I feel that the LinkedIn lead generation, in addition to and bundled in with cold calling, could be something that would be absolutely amazing. Like just kill it, absolutely, for sure.
And it's a market I'm trying to break into. I find that a lot of the sort of, I'll say, 30 and under crowd, or whatever you want to call that generation.
The millennials,
The millennials may not use telemarketing only because they are finding success through other mediums. So I think they could combine it with their existing, again, to reach that portion that are in no man's land, haven't responded, to find out if they're in or out.
For sure. Absolutely.
I completely believe in nurture marketing. A lot of my clients, they've asked, should I send a mailer first? Should I send an email first before the call?
Right.
And I say, no, let's make the call, see if they qualify, see if they're in, see if they're even in business.
Yeah.
Send an email. I help you craft that first email, as you know, because you do email crafting for your process. And then our team does the second call.
Right.
And that process of, phone call, email, phone call, is effective at getting more meetings.
For sure.
And we also know that, 25 years ago when I started this, it was a phone call, a fax, another phone call, and there was a meeting. And now we know that it's more like 7 to 11 touches. So they need to send more emails. They need to, and nothing pushing, just informative, humorous, educational. So that's what I mean by integrating, And I do believe that we should bring back mail. I think direct mail pieces to people who are interested. I think that people's mailboxes aren't getting that kind of source anymore.
Right.
So I think combining marketing methods work.
And it's always good to talk to professionals who are actually doing it.
Yes.
The challenge is working with people who aren't theorizing on things. People have a lot of experience in the industry, and to find someone like yourself, I mean, it's a gold mine where you can find those couple of different niches that actually produce results. So I'm looking forward to working in conjunction with you on a whole bunch of different projects as far as combining my LinkedIn lead generation with your telemarketing services. That's going to be pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and I appreciate how long we've been working together as well.
Yeah, years now. Yeah, for your years. Well, anything else you want to tell people about, what they should be doing as far as the telemarketing process, or as far as, the biggest thing also you find sometimes is when someone wants to, call a business, making sure someone on the other end is actually answering, who can answer their questions. The attention span nowadays on people, 5 minutes, if you don't have an answer in 5 minutes, it's like next, right?
Yes, 5 minutes. Wow, that's a lot of time. I don't think we get 30 seconds, right? So
yeah,
my expertise is scripting, and by that word, I don't mean something fixed. I mean coming up with reasonable content that we can, naturally say why should we have a conversation? Why should we go further?
Yeah.
My callers are, everyone in my company is over 50, and I have a team that's...
Sorry, got this. A little light here. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
My team has been with me for over 8 years.
Yeah.
And they're just very good at knowing if someone is open-minded or not.
Right.
And if they would look at another opinion.
For sure.
Set of eyes of what they're already, doing. They don't sound canned. We're not currently using a dialer, so there's no kind of hesitation in terms of the connection. Everyone has North American, one of my callers is from California, one's in Edmonton, nothing farmed out overseas. There's no ma'am or sir going on the call.
It's always interesting to see those emails. Yeah. That's really important. Well, cool. Well, thank you very much for talking to me today. I'm looking forward to working with you, a lot more in the future, and coming up with some new initiatives for both our businesses to take our clients to the next step.
I just want to say one more thing, if it's okay.
Yeah.
So lists are very important. So I do help people put them together, but knowing who your target market are, either by who your existing market is, by employee size, industry, is quite important. So, my main work with people is getting the strategy, the list, the script, training, and then we just try it out and see what the returns are like. I'm a big fan of stats, so. Yeah,
and that's also for my business as well, is making sure people actually know who their perfect target market is, and having that down on paper, as opposed to, we service everybody. Well, you don't service everybody. You should be focusing on that niche, right? That really target into them. So.
And perhaps you don't know that in advance, Alan, but it's a funnel. Try one, test it. Try another, test it.
Exactly, and split testing, that kind of thing. So, anyways, I'll put your website up on the screen for the video here. And thank you very much for talking to me today. I sure appreciate it. And you have a great day. Okay.
And thanks for filling my funnel up with new leads.
Yes. Well done. With hundreds of new leads, for sure. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you.
Bye.